Hi. So I thought I would start by talking about where I live. So I currently live in Brooklyn and I live in an intentional community house. So they're called that, or they're called like co-living houses. Sometimes they're called communes, like whatever. Um, so I've been living in this house for 8 months now. And for me, that's a big feat because I've been like moving around. I had been moved for several years. I've been moving like every 3 to 4 months, and not like different countries, just different neighborhoods, like different housing situations. Um, I I didn't. I guess I didn't think I would live in a community setting. I mean, it's not something that I even knew about. Kind of like the nudist thing. Like it's just not something I ever really thought about or knew about, or even cared about at the beginning. I don't know. Um, but I keep finding myself like in these intentional community houses, and it seems to work for me. Um, so I guess the idea there are many different ways you can do it, but the idea is like people living together in order to like share for practical reasons, share resources, but also share like an ideology, share different beliefs, like share practices sometimes, like so. People deciding to deliberately living together for like a certain purpose. Um, so a lot of I know there are actually a bunch of houses in the city, which I didn't know that there were so many, and I don't know where they all are and stuff because there's so many different intentions to have, to live together. So um, I didn't know that there were so many, but and I actually would kind of be curious to check some more of them out. I've been in a few though. So I lived in maybe three other ones, and all very different. Um, and yeah, I like it. I guess it's in a lot of ways it's sort of a little bit like dorm living, but I guess dorms are bigger. Like intentional houses can be anywhere from like, let's say maybe 4 people to I guess like 30. Um, so it's a fun thing that I found in my life that I didn't expect to find. Um, I guess it's good for like if you are sort of a traveler, if you're like a vagrant to some degree, or like I think nowadays like I am a millennial, technically. So I think nowadays people are valuing like travel and moving around more and owning less like property, and having more mobility and pooling resources, and there is like this, I think, resurgence of that feeling. It's not an I mean, it's not a new concept. Obviously people live together in all different capacities, and communes or hippie things and whatever. um, so but I think it's kind of an interesting way that I've like been living my life, um, in with this group of people, and there's so many different ways you can do it. Like some of the houses have a lot of turnover, they have a lot of people moving through and guests and stuff. Other houses are more stable and they're like a smaller family unit. There are many ways like to do it, and I guess some of the intentions that people have are, I guess it started out kind of like a hippie related thing. Like I know Burning Man people do it, and like to have like a vision of what your ideal sort of life would be like I guess questioning like, could I create this like ideal living situation where I'm living with people that share my values, or maybe don't share my values. Maybe like you want diversity, you want to like meet people that are different from you, or whatever it may be. Like you want to immerse in a different type of culture, or you aspire to have that certain value, but you don't have it yet. So maybe living in the house can help you get there. So there are a lot of like spiritual houses, and they're yoga intentional houses, and like there are a lot of like food and eco-friendly houses, vegan houses, many different, like there are tantra houses. There like a lot of it tends to do, I guess, with like spirituality and I guess sustainability, environmental stuff. And I mean, I guess the first intentional living house that I technically lived in was when I was Catholic. I lived in a Catholic house or whatever, kind of like a missionary house in a certain way, in Detroit. So yeah, there are many different like missions you can have. And I actually am curious to see like what the other intentional houses do. I know I've heard legends of like different ones, and some of them are very into building, and they are very into the land. Like I'm in Brooklyn, so there's not like as much like there's there's not a big land property. Like I know there's some on Staten Island or whatever that they have more. They can, I guess, garden and farm and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And like I think I would love to sort of make it more public, and like I think it would be a great sort of reality television thing. But like privacy, like with all this stuff, it's like I enjoy doing things that are like, I guess, edgy to some degree. I don't think that they're that edgy, but I guess in terms of current society sometimes, I don't know. But with that is like people have concerns about privacy. Like if I were doing like makeup tutorials, like it wouldn't be a problem, but like, there a lot of these houses, like, okay, so my floor is clothing optional, and I obviously not everybody wants to be featured or filmed, or even a lot of my nudist friends are not out of the closet, so to speak, about being a nudist. A lot of them have been nudists for many years, but they have not told their family or certain people in their family. Yeah, I'm glad that my whole family knows, so that was easy. But yeah, it's a thing that like we still are careful about, so to speak. And I know in the future it will be better, and we'll laugh about the days that things were secretive in that way. But also it's just a consent issue. Like I'm not trying to expose people who don't want to be exposed. Like I can choose to be exposed because that's my choice and that's my pleasure. But other people know. And also there are restrictions about nudity on like social media and stuff. So Facebook has nudity bans, and so does YouTube. So it's funny because I see people sometimes people click dislike on my videos, and I know it's because like they're like, I say nudist and they're excited to like see me naked, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen, this is YouTube. But I guess not everybody realizes that or whatever. But you'll just have to come to these resorts, just go to a naked beach, and then you'll get to see all the naked people you want. But yeah, so it's interesting to be living this sort of life, and I keep coming back to it. Like there's a lot of things that are conventional about me, and I like those things, but this is a thing that people tell me is less conventional. So but in a lot of ways I really am just a normal person. Like I just like cook my food and go to the grocery store and like pet the cats and like but I take pride in the fact that I have this unusual hobby of nudism. And also I would say like realizing that living in an intentional community house is probably like a thing that might interest people. So yeah, like I would be happy to answer questions about it, the questions that I can within the privacy of the people living in the house. So yeah, I think like in the future, like going forward, I want to see if I can sort of strategically video some, because my floor is clothing optional, so I can cook naked, and I can like talk to people on my floor naked or whatever. Like so it would be cool to maybe do some segments of video where I'm doing maybe some of those things, even though you won't actually see me too much actually naked. Like it might be cool to just have a little snippet of like what like nudist life in a commune is, so to speak. I think I guess like for me it's probably more fun to film things that are like outdoors, like but this is my life, and I am grateful for being able to find this situation. It's really comforting to know like I'm not alone, and people support me, and people like understand my expression. So yeah, that's it. Bye.